Welcome to drive time. I'm gonna set my phone down. Don't wanna film and drive. That's dangerous. I wanted to make this drive time video to show my never-ending love for firemen. I love firemen so much, and I'm at the scene of a fire right now, and I wanna show you guys something really cool. I love firemen, and okay, I'm driving. I love firemen. You know, when I was a very young boy, I saw a fireman and he gave me a high five, and it just completely shifted my view of what a man can be. It made me realize I don't have to have organs to be considered a certain gender. I can do whatever I want in this world. Firemen, they molded me. I was molded by firemen. I love firemen. When I was 8 years old, I was in an apartment complex for the young. No adults allowed, just a bunch of young kids in a big apartment complex. And we were trying to cook. We put cookies in the oven, in our easy bake oven, and it just set ablaze. And so I had my life saved, and I'm so grateful. Okay, here we are. I'm gonna park right here. I'm parking. As soon as you hear the click, you're parked. Wow. Look at that. Look at that fireman. Look at these firemen. You see these men? These men, they sacrifice themselves. Oh, he's turning on the fire hose, turning it off. That's actually really cool. I've never seen them do that. They're turning off the fire hose. Wow, what a man. What an absolute dream. I strive to be him. Firemen, they have kids that are constantly just put in a little wicker basket and put on their doorstep, and they take care of him until he turns into a very angsty teenager with superpowers. They have Dalmatians with them, as I think they have many Dalmatians. And emptying the hose. Wow, those hoses are so powerful. They can just completely blow off your face. Just blow your face right off with all that water pressure. I love firemen so much. I love firemen. I love firemen so much. I love you. I love you. I love you so much. I love watching you take the hose off. I love you so much. You're my hero. You're my absolute hero. I love you all. I wish I could be a fireman. I wish I could just wake up one day and have a big beard and just fight fire. I wish I could have a suit. I want a nice fireman suit so I can just run right into it. Just run right into a fire and be unharmed. Hey, back off, lady. My fireman, not yours. My fireman. I love firemen so much, and the big wee woo lights, it honestly makes me think about the world. It makes me think about the sky. It makes me think about Neptune, the Roman sea god. You know, in a way, firemen are their own Neptune, because they see a holy blaze of Lucifer himself, and they put it out with the power of the water, the power of hydrogen to oxygen, and they just control wind and water and waves. And he's looking at me. Oh my god, I think he knows I'm filming him. They control water, and they just spew it. They spew it all over the blaze, and I can't stop thinking about it. I wake up at night in a cold sweat, thinking about being just a young child in the firehouse. I remember getting a nice sub with turkey and cheese and lettuce and olive oil mayo, all that firehouse sub sandwich quality, just what you'd expect from old Chief Richards. I remember old Chief Richards would just make a sub for the whole team, and it was just Just absolutely delicious. Oh, wow. Look at him go. Look at him go. That's the nurturing arm of a fireman. That's the same arm that picks up a child from a small wicker. I'm gonna drive away. It's the same. No, I'm not. It's the same exact feeling. It's the same arm that just takes a child from a wicker basket, holds him close, and says, "You're safe here, pal. You're safe and you're welcome." I was never a child in a wicker basket. However, one of my good friends, Glorious Caesar, was a wicker basket child. He was taken in by the Milwaukee Fire Department. Took him out, and they said, "You know what, champ? Have a turkey and cheese sandwich. You deserve it, slugger." And they gave him the sandwich, and it not only did it feed his mouth, but it fed his soul. It fed his character. And that man grew up to be a man that you all know. He changed his name, and that man grew up to be Al Gore. So, without firemen, what would we do? What would we do without firemen, man? I'm gonna drive home now. What would we do? What would we do? Who would I be if I was never given a high five from a fireman? I don't know. I think I would just break down and just cry. That would be it. Uh-oh, goodbye. That would be it, man. Over. It's over for me. God, I would... Let me tell you a story. It's story time. Excuse the camera. I'm driving, and I don't want to hold my phone while I'm driving because I'm a good citizen. You see, that's my fireman's that's my fireman instinct. Let me tell you a story. When I was 11 years old, I was still living in the child apartment, and there was an explosion. They found several bombs placed in the child apartment from a local terrorist organization called PETA, and they put these bombs in it because we were having turkey sandwiches, and the lives of turkeys are valued more than the lives of our own children. So they bombed the apartment. Just blaze everywhere. Ember. Timber! A tree fell down on the apartment, and it cracked a couple people's skulls. But that wasn't even the worst part, because people started just getting set on fire. Just fire everywhere. And within 2 minutes, the firemen came. It took them 5 hours to put out the full fire. The child apartment lost around 27% of its tenants, and it completely destroyed the building. But you know what the firemen did after putting out the fire? Not only did they put out the fire, but they put in inspiration in our hearts, because they proceeded to start a charity, and they rebuilt the child apartment. That's when I decided maybe child apartment wasn't for me. I was getting older. I was outgrowing it. It was very tragic saying goodbye to the friends that I was raised by. We were all sharing experiences together. I moved into my first house. It was a split-level Victorian home in the middle of Omaha. Absolutely beautiful, and the property value was doing nothing but going straight up. So it was perfect, and I had a kitchen. And I remember one day I wanted to see what happens if you microwave bread. Because, toasters take like 3 minutes to toast your bread. Microwaves can make a whole meal in like a couple seconds. So I was like, let's toast some bread with a microwave. And so I did. And my beautiful Victorian split level house exploded. And everything that I strived for in my adult life as an 11-year-old just sent to nothing but embers. Nothing but glorious embers and the unforgivingness of a sea god. It was a tough time to be 11 years old. The economy was doing nothing but going down. The property value of my house went straight down. After a sea of nothing but good news, I was just completely taken aback. I had nothing. And this is the part of the story where you might get upset because I lied. But I did because, I didn't lie. I stretched the truth. I wasn't a wicker basket baby. You see, I was a bit smart. I was a bit smarter than the average baby. I put myself in a wicker basket at the age of 11 because I knew I would have a home in the fireman's house. So I went there. I told you I wasn't a wicker basket baby, and that part was true. The part that you didn't know, though, I was a wicker basket tween and teen. And I was raised by these men of fire, and they put their values on me in such a young, impressionable age, and they turned me into the noble man that I am today. I have respect. I have manners. I'm a good guy all around, thanks to those firemen. There's not a single day where I don't drop to my knees before eating and just say unending grace for firemen. I remember I met a friend at the firehouse when I was a teenager. I was about 14 when I met him. I was pretty lonely at the firehouse before. I was not really a social creature. Like I said, moving in my own split level house at a very young age. So I finally made a friend at the age of 14. His name was Skiff. They called him Skiff because, like, while most children that were there came in a wicker basket, he actually came in a flat-bottom boat, and he didn't remember what his name was, so they just called him Skiff. And basically, Skiff, he was the only friend I ever had. Ever. I loved Skiff so much. So Skiff, I remember we met at a fireman's expo where they would take the children at the fire home and they would, display and hand out flyers like, please adopt this child, thank you. I never saw Skiff again.